What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV with your host here, Dano, giving you the best content that you're going to find on the internet. I promise if you stay for 10 minutes, you're going to stay for the entire episode because we have Terrah Bennett Smith here with us tonight and her story, just like everybody else's, but this one is just a tad bit more special and super amazing, and I can't wait for everybody to hear it all. Terrah, what do you have to say to the Positivity Posse before we get started?
I say, if you want to be uplifted, you better stay here and stay tuned.
Boom! Look at that. Straight simple and to the point. I hope you guys are ready. This is going to be a high energy episode, but we are going to give you everything that you could possibly need in order to take it to the next level and to transition to that next level that you've always wanted to go, minus your fears. Don't worry about those. That's not going to exist. And we're going to dispel everything that might be going through your mind through the power of Terrah's story. So don't go anywhere. Like, share, comment, do whatever you have to do because it's time for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Let's get it, everybody. So, everybody, thank you so much for being here on Weekly Dose of Dano TV. We absolutely appreciate the Positivity Posse for coming in and week out just to support us, to learn a little bit more about yourselves, and to learn about the incredible guests that we have in and week out because, it wouldn't be possible without you guys. So, and, always in the very beginning, I got to spend my time with the Positivity Posse because we've been going for about 3.5 years strong. And, we just are breaking new records with the number of viewers. All 60,000 of you are just absolutely incredible. But, we got to spend our time together. So here it is. Today, earlier, I learned something that is just, I already knew it, but you'll get exactly what I'm talking about. So I've been having these conversations, and it seems like with everything that I learn, I always want to share. And sometimes if you're in a position of service, or if you're a coach, or if you just is that overall great energy and that light to other people, you want people to kind of experience everything that you're feeling in that moment in time, because once we have that joy and that freedom, we want everybody to feel it and to express that in any way that they may be able to. But we have to remember as well, our primary concern or our primary thing that we need to focus on is our own connectivity with our source beings, or everything that we need to focus on to achieve happiness every single day. And it is through your light that shines that other people start seeing and noticing everything it is that you're doing. It's not necessarily the words. Like, yes, you can teach people and give them, hey, you got to do this step A, B, C, D. And that works, but words aren't always the best teacher, right? And it's through action when people see you waking up with that great big smile, or they see all the things that are manifesting in your life. Like if you got that great job, or you just met that great significant other, or you got that great guest to come on your show, aka Terrah Bennett Smith. But seriously, these things that start to happen to you, people will start to take notice. And as much as you want people to really experience the happiness and that enlightenment and that fulfillment that you're doing, you just got to go out there and be the best version of yourself that can do it. And earlier, if you guys know Abraham Hicks, we talk about her all the time on the show. She just is a beacon of such great light. And there's some cards that she came out with, and I picked one earlier, and that's exactly what I was meant to tell you guys for today. So just here it is in one simple sentence: everyone is responsible for the thoughts they think, and the things that they choose as their objects of attention. So, like I said, You're not responsible for how other people feel. That's why it may sound selfish in the beginning to really focus on yourself and your happiness. But in the long run, it's not selfish at all because number one, how are we anticipated to help other people and fill up their cup if our cups are empty? And then number two, you are just being that service to others when you're taking care of yourself, because you can help them in ways that they may think about, may not consciously even know, or you can just plant that seed for them to really sprout with, maybe another coach or another event that happens in their life. So, yeah, that's just it for you guys today. Like I said, I know sometimes I notice that I do it myself, that I want everybody to experience this peace, love, and enlightenment. But we just have to make sure that we are doing it in a way that they're being receptive and you're not really forcing it down their throats because when you do that, you're actually doing the opposite of everything that you're trying to do. So that's it. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I just had that reminder today and it's just so true. So everything that I share with you guys here on the show and the guests as well, just like Terrah is going to do tonight, we all live these things. So we become the authority to speak on them. And since we've gone through them and grown through them, that is why we are able to share it with you. And that's why you are able to sit here to be a part of these great conversations, whether you're lighting it up in the comment sections or when you're sharing or when you're just even watching. We all do appreciate that, and it's all great to know and fantastic and wonderful that there are people out there as well. And I'll just give you one more piece of information. Yes, there are people out there as well that want the best for other people, that are going to do everything that they need to do to achieve their highest and greatest good. And if you can feel that same love that you have within you, that's how you know it exists in other places of the world because there are people who can experience that same love and that same wonderful gifts to give that you want to give to the world as well. So that's it for you guys. I'm really excited for you to be here. Terrah has done so many incredible things in her life. I can't believe that she's not a household name. I mean, she is tonight because we're bringing you here through Weekly Dose of Dano TV. But when you see her infectious smile, when you hear about all the things that she's done, you're going to be wondering, why haven't I heard of Terrah sooner? So we're here bringing Terrah in today. Let me just address a few comments. Daniel, you're on fire. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for leaving a comment. Positivity Posse, Lou, Dano, Lou, it's nice to see you as well. And I'm just really, really excited and grateful to be able to bring this to you guys today. So whatever you have to do, as you're showing me the same love, please drop a fire emoji, drop a welcome to the show, Terrah. Anything that you need to do to welcome Terrah Bennett Smith onto the show. Terrah, what are you doing back there? Stop trying to steal everybody's heart. It's time to come onto the show.
Hey
Terrah.
there. So first of all, this was so dope watching all the little graphics. And so I was like, "Oh, Dano, look at you with your whole setup, all professionalism like ish." That's not even a word, but I just had to say it like that. Congratulations. This is a wonderful, wonderful platform. Wonderful. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. This is wonderful, Dano. So take over because I'll keep running and you'll
Yeah.
be sitting on the side.
Oh yeah. Well, one thing before we start running, I just want to make this correction. It's Terra, and I know she's beautiful, wonderful.
Terrah. They're like Terrah.
T-A-H. Look at
But you
that.
know what? You can spell it any way you like.
I'm gonna spell it like this: Beautiful, because I can see it in your smile, in your spirit, and we have so much we need to talk about today, Terrah.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to chit chat it up with you.
Oh
And all you
yes,
out there, thanks for tuning in.
this is
So
gonna
what you
be a
got
fun
for
day.
me, Dana? What you got for me?
Well, I mean, there's so many places that we can start, and I know you've done so many different things in your life, from writing books to directing films to being on Broadway. There, out of all the things that you've done, we're going to talk about this theme for the first question. So, out of all the different things that you've done in your life, have you noticed a connecting theme between everything that you've done?
A theme, connecting theme, I would say, I think that, there was a time when I didn't know why I felt like I had all these talents. So a lot of people say, "Oh, Terry, you're a jack of all trades and master of none." That saying that nobody really likes. But I realized everything I was learning and doing had a purpose, and the purpose did not make sense at the time. But as life continued on, they kind of went under one big umbrella. So I learned a little bit over here, and I was one of those people that you gave me an opportunity. I said, oh yeah, sure, whether I knew how to do it or not, I was going to jump into it. And so I wouldn't say that there was a connecting theme at the time. I would say down the line it started to evolve into this kind of big, the puzzle pieces started to come together where I said, oh, I get it now. So I'm supposed to be this and not just this. You know what I'm saying? So I think I don't think at the time it was one specific thing. I think it all just kind of culminated into Terrah today.
I love that. And a lot of people don't realize the things that they're going through at the time because they may, something may happen that may not be the way that they would prefer to. But that thing is actually building you up to get you to wherever it is that you want to go. And Terrah, I think that's a perfect segue into everything that you just said. All the things and the pieces that you picked up along the way. Number one, I can probably take a great guess to say that you didn't just pick up one thing and put down another. You had to, culminate it all for your next stepping stone or your piece in your career. But let's talk about that. Can you tell us about a time through all of the highs and lows in your career that it may have come off initially as like a curse, but you found out it was a blessing in disguise when you ran with it?
Yeah, a particular time when it felt like a curse. Yes, I would say the acting world. Because, as you know, acting could be very slow, unless you're a household name. Even for household names, some of those people are sitting on the side wondering where their next job's coming from. So I think there was a part of people telling me, well, Terrah, if you just focused on being an actress, if you would just put down everything else and just did this one thing, perhaps maybe you'd be a household name, or perhaps be more well known, or you be whatever. And that used to weigh on me because I felt like, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe if I just focused, then I would be further along. But that wasn't who I came here to be. You know what I mean? I came here to be all of these things. Otherwise, I would not have had all those talents. And when I had a friend of mine said to me once, because I was severing a relationship because I no longer wanted to deal with her, and she said she had this whole list of things that and then you're doing this, and then you're doing this, and then you're doing this, and she said, you're a jack of all trades and master of none. And I sat back and I thought for a second. I said, no, that's not true, because I have been a professional in every one of these things. I'm a professional. I've been paid for. They hire me to do this. I said, now, just because you can't do it, that's okay. But don't beat me up for not doing. But then what started to happen, Dan, was I started to beat myself up, because I kept looking outside at the way other people are doing things and figuring, okay, it has to be done their way, but it doesn't. It has to be done the way that speaks to me. And so once I let go of that attachment to, what people are thinking or how they're seeing me, which is an ongoing process. Let's just start there. It ain't over yet. Once I started to understand that that's more of what's happening than really what the truth is. The truth is that I am a director, I am a producer, I am an actress, I am a dancer. I was I even choreographed. I'm not even a choreographer. Weird things have happened. I've written songs. I was on Broadway, had a talk show on Fox. I've raised 3 beautiful kids. Now I'm CCO of this amazing company, partner in this amazing company that's a new opportunity. I never even held a job more than 5 minutes that wasn't in the entertainment industry because they fired me, but that's another story. Um, but it's saying yes to life and saying yes to opportunities and not looking forward to have an outcome that you decide what the outcome's supposed to be. Because someone told me once, when something comes through you, it's for you to do. When something comes through you, it's for you to do. So when all these ideas, and when I'm pulled over here, hey, Terrah, can you write a song? I was like, no, but give me some paper. I know how to write. So I would sit down and I wrote a song, and it ended up on some show on Showtime. I've had all this kind of stuff that if I'd have said, well, I don't understand, and I'm a jack of all trades, I need to focus over here and I need to focus over there, I need to do one thing, I would have never had all these wonderful experiences. So did that answer your question?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's so many different ways that we can talk about it, and I just love the fact that you didn't accept what other people said about you, and everything that you said in there. We can have entire episodes about, because you were just saying how you didn't accept what she said. You were following kind of your highest and greatest good and your impulses that led you to that point. And like I said, we got a lot to talk about. So
And let me just say this to that point too. Part of it is it's not just that I just didn't follow it. I like to say that I I still, we all have our old blueprints, where we're dealing with old tape and old, conditionings, and I have my own, but and within those old tapes are the things that, looking outside at validation from other people. I'm an artist, like me, hey, like me. Um, but part of why I did not sit in one place too is because I get bored really easily. So if I'm not working, I'm going to create something else. I'm not just going to sit here and wait for you to like me. Hey, Mikey, like me. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to create something so that I'm always honoring myself and doing something interesting and new on this journey that's promised about that much, because we don't know when it's over. So why waste your time sitting here going, like me, somebody hire me, when you can create something? So that's another reason why.
I love that. And let's talk about that concept of time, because, like you said, we don't know when our last breath might be. And the way that you're talking about it, obviously, you have so much tremendous experience and just expertise when it comes to it. But did you always think that way, or was there a time in your life that you were wasting time?
I wouldn't say I ever wasted time. I'd say that I learned along the way. I was always, it was always important to me to be better, like to read and become better, be a better version of myself. That was something that I was always curious about. And the more I became curious, the more I read books, the more I listened to Abraham, the more I, would find people like Joe Dispenza and just listen to the conditioning, because I knew that, that one of the books that he write is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Joe Dispenza. I love, what he talks about the brain and the science behind it all. And I found that intriguing because when you look at the habits that we kind of formulate, a lot of them don't even have anything to do with who we are today. They come with us from, some baggage that somebody gave to us when we were 5 or 4 or 3, and we carry that straight into adulthood. You know what I mean? And we don't understand why we keep doing the same things over and over, but expect a different result. I got really curious and I'm like, okay, we're going to fix some of this stuff. So that became, my, I want to be better. I want to be the best version. And the thing is, it never changed. You know what I mean? I mean, the desire to be better, there was never an end result. As soon as you get to one thing, then you realize, dang, I got to work on that too. Then something else shows up. Then something. So it's an evolution of constantly moving forward, trying to be better, and trying to, to be a better person inward, and then extend that outward.
Of course. And it's like you said too, once you start this path of self-development, there will be things that come about in our lives that are teach us the things that we need to understand more about ourselves, whether it's passing the test and saying, all right, well, I don't have to figure this out because I've proven to myself and to the universe and to God or whatever you believe that I have learned my lesson and I'm beyond that now. Or conversely, at the things that we might get tested about and then we might fail, to say, all right, well, I need to do X, Y, and Z better. So, but when you understand that everything that happens in our life is to teach us and to use it in our to really see the positive in everything, because it is all serving us, no matter if it's a good thing that happens or bad things that happen. It's all serving us. But it all boils down to the belief systems, Tara, like you were saying in the or when you were talking about baggage being thrown in from when you were 3, 4, 5. So I just want to share this with everybody really quick. It doesn't matter anything that you do in this life. Tara was just saying that she always wants to get better. For somebody else on the opposite side that says, I'm fine the way I am. And if you do feel that way, that's great. But everything that we do in this life is leading us away from pain or leading us to pleasure. So, Tara, I just want to talk about that really quickly. How did you dismantle those old belief systems, and like how did you become aware that those things were happening to you that you didn't accept?
Because they repeated themselves. Whenever I started to see the correlation between me and situations, and I said if they show up more than once, and the kind of like, okay, a relationship, right? You date this one person and you go, oh, I can't stand this person, how they da 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 da. Then you date the next person and they're like, okay, they're kind of doing a similar thing. Now these two people don't know each other, so who's the common denominator? So when I started to look at people as an opportunity, as a reflection of what they came to show me about me, then it became less about me being mad at them, even though you initially get mad at them, but it became more about, okay, so y'all don't know each other, but I'm feeling the same way with two separate people. I am the common denominator here. So what needs to be worked on? I believe that my belief, not anybody else's, that every relationship, everyone that comes into our lives is a relationship with your children, relationship with your teacher. You and I having a relationship. I have a relationship with my coworkers and my partners at Inyani. I have a relationship with the cast members. I have a relationship with the store person. When I go into the store, it's a relationship. And depending on when somebody stabs you and you feel something, you go, oh, that hurt. There's something there to look at. Because why should someone you just met make you feel a certain way? Or is it something that they're showing you about you? I look at everything as a relationship. And for myself, not for the other person. So even when I'm in an intimate relationship, they're there for me. And one of the other things I've learned through this whole thing is, like, when people say, oh, I've fallen in love, I no longer fall in love with other people. I've fallen in love with myself. So now I'm so in love with me that when you come in, you only can enhance that. But if you fall short, I don't love you less, because I never loved you more. I fell in love with me. And that is my work now. So that's kind of where I am with this whole thing.
I love that. Yeah, and like you said, everything that happens is really teaching us about that one thing. And I really love the fact that you brought up relationships, because everybody can reflect in their time, if they're going through it right now, or maybe in the past when they overcame it, to say, damn, I really don't like that this person's treating me this way, and I don't like this and I don't like that. But they're teaching you something, and you should always be thankful, even if the things didn't work out the way that you thought they were going to be. Thank them for teaching you more about yourself and to fall more in love with yourself. And that's not, any negative thing is correlated with that, because uh, it's hard. Once you're in it and you are on that journey of self discovery, and you understand that everything that happens is showing you more of yourself, that is when you start to fall in love with life, and nothing can ever really stop you. So, Terrah, we just have to hear a word from our first sponsors, which is the Power of We Symposium. I will be there on October 27th, but thank you to the Power of We for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And when we come back, we're going to dive more into Terrah's story and all the lessons and the golden nuggets that she needs to share with us. So don't go anywhere. Like, share, do whatever you have to do to raise your vibrations, because we're here for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
This is so nice, Dano. I'm so proud of you. And I just
So everybody, that was our first sponsor, the Power of We Symposium. I will be there on October 24th, and I'm super excited to be there again. And we thank you for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. So, Terrah, we have to talk about this media piece that you have going on, which is called The Right Turn. And I want you to explain with everybody what it is and how you spotlight women who are 40 plus years old. Tell us all about The Right Turn.
Okay, The Right Turn is a series that I star in. I co-created with Tess Cacciatore, and it focuses on women who kind of have need to revitalize their lives. Because, you get to a certain age, whether you're in the entertainment industry or not, women have a tendency to be kind of multitaskers, and then we kind of lose ourselves in that somewhere in that journey where mom is, and and husband, wives, and workers, and we're cooking dinner and doing homework, and we're just doing all that stuff, and we want to give, and then you wake up one day and you go, who am I? And so The Right Turn focuses on this character, Celeste Wright Turner. She's a publicist now. Although she's had a wonderful career, her other part of her life has been dead completely. She has no social life. She hasn't dated in 10 years. She hasn't been intimate in 10 years. She hasn't done anything in 10 years. And now she's finding that she's divorced. She's got these children. And I mean, her children are empty nesters. And now she's trying to figure out, well, who am I? I have a career, but that's all my life is. And so we did a survey with so many women talking about, some of the things that they're dealing with as women, physically, that we don't talk about or we don't share with each other. And there was so many common threads that women were so happy to be able to say, I didn't know this was going to happen to me when I went through menopause. I didn't know this was going to happen. We cover everything and we throw it on the table, and I'm very open. And because the idea is to show that we are not alone and life is not over just because you turn 40 or 50, not 40, more like 50, 50, 60. You can start a career at any age, or you can revitalize yourself. You can redesign yourself at any age. So that's kind of what the show is. And we did it independent. We did 8 episodes. The first 4 are on Tubi right now. And so it's been a wonderful experience. We're working with Inyani on the project as well. So I'm just kind of, you know what? I get to do everything I love to do. And starring in that was one of the things that I love to do.
And that is absolutely amazing. You can just tell that when you're describing it, you just have this really big smile on your face. And everybody out there too, don't look at Terrah's story as like, oh, like that's far away. I can't do that. Obviously, that is the whole point of it, is to show that if Terrah can do it, you can do it as well. And Terrah, I think you have a big time celebrity working on that project as well, by the name of Tisha Campbell. Is that true or is that not
Yes,
true?
Tisha played a client. My character's a publicist, as I said, and Tisha is kind of one of my clients, but she's also this high powered exec with this travel company. And so, yeah, it was, and it's about relationships too. I've known Tisha for years, but a lot of the names on that show were relationships. Where people are, when you treat people right, they want to go, hey, I got your back, what you need. You know what I mean? And we didn't audition a single person because I thought that was useless. I was like, I know enough people in this business. And also a lot of the actresses who are maybe 50 plus, 40s, 50 plus, I would say, who might have had a series back in the day and the industry is not paying them any attention now. I was like, come on, you get a role, you get a role, you get a role. Because who's to say that they should be put out to pasture right now? This is the best times of their lives. They're more seasoned, their craft is smart, is sharper. So now is an opportunity for them to shine. So they didn't audition. I was like, what is there? We asked a lot of the actors, is there something you've always wanted to play that this industry has never given you the opportunity to do? And we tailored the character around things that they would love to do.
Wow.
So,
And
yeah.
it's so great to hear that you didn't look to the outside world to create something or to give you that handout. You took it. You said, "I'm going to run with it. I'm going to create this myself." And you know that you were always supported by what is greater than us, and everything that you've done, which is absolutely fantastic. And I know you probably had some maybe doubts along the way, but you didn't listen to them. And now we're able to see it on Tubi TV.
Yeah, Tubi TV. When you were telling your viewers that they don't know, how am I going to do this, or can I do this? My acronym for how is helps on the way. Just take one step. One step. You say, okay, I've always wanted to do this thing. I've always wanted to do something. If the step is looking it up on YouTube, that's one step. Or looking it up on the internet, figuring out where could I go? That's one step. Every time you take one step, something magical happens. And I call that the helps on the way, the HOW, helps on the way. You don't have to worry about the house. The house that's not your job. That's this big, beautiful universe's job. When I got with Inyani, and this is God's honest true story, I was sitting on my bed And I just go, okay, I need bigger. That's the name of my new book coming out, y'all. Being Bigger, Badder, Bolder, Better. I was just plugging that, but I'm going back. So
Oh, we're going to get back to that later on.
I just said, I was sitting on my bed and I said, I need bigger. I want bigger movies. I want bigger projects. I'm tired of, I don't want to play down here anymore. And I sat on that bed, and within maybe 2 weeks, I went to some random party, and this gentleman, we were talking about some of our projects, me and my girlfriend. This gentleman said, oh, you should go talk to that guy over there. Happened to be the CEO of Inyani. And so it wasn't initial that, I mean, it wasn't right away that, I started working with them. I was just giving him information and, hey, you might want to look at this actor. And then I got more and more involved in helping out. And then he said, we need you to come aboard. And then that turned into me becoming CCO. And then that turned into me becoming a partner. And we do big projects. This is, and the funny thing, Dano, is that I asked for that, but now I have to wrap my mind around the fact that I'm here because it's foreign to my body. It's foreign to my consciousness. And Michael, I don't remember Michael's whole interview, but if you sit long enough with Michael, you look at Michael like, are you kidding me? You gonna pull this off? But I'm watching as this company just like growing leaps and bounds over just a short period of time, and everything is being pulled off. So it's helping to shift my consciousness that was like, okay, you asked for this, but is this real? It's real. How helps on the way. I didn't know at that party I was going to meet Michael, and he was going to be the next level of what I needed. And I was going to be a partner in this company and Inyani and CCO and overseeing all the projects. And so I'm just going to say this one last thing. You can get your next question in. But back to the point of how, when you say all the different things I did, how those things have lined up now is in Inyani. Because everything I did, everything I learned is now what I do here. And when I sit down with somebody, you can't pull the wool over my head because, oh, I understand that. Oh, I understand that. I understand a little bit of that. Oh, yeah, I was on Broadway. I know that. Oh, yeah, I wrote some songs. I know that. Okay, I was top 40 on Billboard. I was a recording artist. I know that. It's because I did all those things. And then it all just lined up under this beautiful umbrella called Inyani.
Boom. Look at that, everybody. So whatever it is that you're going through, understand that it is a stepping stone. No matter what it is, it can be the most serious thing, the greatest thing. It doesn't matter. When you view it and you imbue your own messaging and your own definition of it working out for you, it is going to serve you in a way that you may not know 5 minutes down the line or 5 years down the line. But when you have that faith that it is serving you, there's nothing that it can stop you, and it is meant to serve you. And when you have that thing called life that's serving you, you just find this new level of love and appreciation to everything that you do. So everybody, I just want to talk about this comment. It is real. Nothing is a coincidence. Not
That's
at
right.
all.
That's right.
Is it a coincidence when you order something from Amazon and it arrives at your door front the next day? No, because you set that intention out there. And it's the same thing with the universe. When you ask for something, expect it to be on its way. It may not show up in the way that you think it might, or it may be something better that you could have even imagined. But just be ready for it as well. And the last thing, Terrah, that I want to talk about, when you were just mentioning, you're sitting on the bed, and I think it was a little bit before that, but you were talking about one step is all it takes, whether you're Googling something or you're going to take that massive action. What you need to understand, or what we need to understand, is that there is no difference of a big win and a small win. Obviously, the biggest win that we could have received for today is to wake up in the morning, right? So you have achieved the biggest and the best thing. So don't think that a small thing like doing a Google search that Terrah said is small. If once you equate that to the biggest action that you can take, that means everything, you're on the right path. So Terrah, can you talk about not labeling things as like a small win or a big win, how it's all serving us?
Well, yeah. For me, one of my quotes is, I woke up this morning, everything else is profit. So, you get the chance to do this thing every time. And one of the things I love, also what Abraham talks about a lot is not worrying or not focusing so much on the outcome that you want. Just enjoy the feeling of how you feel doing whatever the thing you're doing. Because when you enjoy the feeling of it, then you're aligning with all the great things that go along with that feeling. So what was your question?
Yeah, exactly that. No,
Oh, okay, because I thought but yeah, so it's wait, just say the question again though.
it was how do we define the big wins and small wins? How we equate them on the same level?
Because there's no big or I mean, I think that if you could see something that you want, right? And you decide hypothetically, let's take money for instance. I really, I just want to make $20,000. That's it. And if somebody next to you is like, yeah, well, I'm going for 500,000 right now. And you look at them like, how's that even possible? Well, it's just as easy to get 500,000 as it is to get 20,000.
Yeah,
It really is. It really is. It's easy to become a millionaire as it is to become a thousandaire. It's
yeah,
just consciously we limit ourselves because of where we are and what we've been conditioned to believe. So the thing is that instead of trying to jump for 500,000 when you're a 20,000 believer, then do 20. When you get to 20, go to 50. When you get to 50, go to 60. Because the more you start to do things and you start to see and manifest in your life, the more you take more chances to make that manifestation bigger. There are no small wins. Everything has its purpose. Everything like Googling one thing, that's one step. And trust me, when you start making those steps, all of a sudden you're going to be at a party and you're going to meet some gentleman who's going to say, yeah, I got this company named Inyani and, you should be a part of it. That's how this whole universal thing works. So there are no small things unless you decide it's small. And once you decide it's small.
yeah. And then thank you so much for saying that too, because all the things that you do want is not for the having of it; it's the feeling when you do have it. So
Mhm.
I just want to make that so critical because when you are in that mansion or you have 30 cars or whatever it is that you do want, it's not for the actual physical car. Like you don't want a bunch of car parts. That's not what you're doing it for. You're doing it for the freedom that's going to be associated with that or the happiness that you're going to get from having that thing. So remember, again, big recap and a big emphasis on that. You don't want the things that you want for the having of it. You want it for the feeling that you think you're going to get when you actually achieve whatever goal it is that you want. So we,
Journey that
yep,
we chase. We chase journeys all day long. It's like once you reach the goal, you're on to another journey. Kind of like
yep,
Christmas, Christmas is coming, Christmas is coming, Christmas is coming. You're all excited, you can't wait, and then it just kind of goes right after you open the presents. Christmas is like, okay,
yep,
what's next? Oh, Easter's coming, Easter's coming, Easter's coming. It's the journey that we get excited about. It's the feeling behind all of this new exciting stuff. And that if we can live in those moments, and most of the time those moments pass us by because we're so busy trying to look at what's over there that we think we're going, we forget to enjoy the feelings of what we're experiencing. And that's what I'm working hard at, just staying in the moment of today. Okay, today I got to eat this ice cream and I got some lemon cookies. Those cookies were so good, and that's really the truth. Is I needed some cookies. I had to go find some cookies. I found some lemon cookies, and they were the best cookies that I've had today. So, but I enjoyed that process. And the idea is to enjoy the process of everything, because that's
yeah,
really all we have is that moment. We don't know what's going to be happening 20 minutes from now.
yep. But it's all man, thank you so much for saying that. So we have to hear a word, Terrah, from our second sponsor
Yeah,
and
baby.
third sponsor, because we're gonna hear from It Takes a Village Housing here in South Jersey and also the JB Dundalo Foundation, which I am a board member on, and we provide clean water to different places in the US and in Africa as well. And It Takes a Village is providing such great services to women and children who've been affected by drugs and alcohol and other substances. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to the both of you. Shout out to y'all. And these next two commercials are dedicated to you guys. And thank you for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And to my positivity posse, don't go anywhere just yet because we're going to hear more about Terrah's book, Bigger, Badder, Bolder, Stronger, all of those great things. I can't even remember what it is, but we'll hear more about that when we come back. So don't go anywhere. And please share this stream. Thank you.
Takes a village about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization. There's no source of water where it come from. Make sure the water is clean, prevention.
So everybody, thank you so much for the two sponsors, It Takes a Village Housing and JB Dundillo Foundation. We appreciate both of you so much. And now, Terrah, it is your time to shine to talk about your book. And the title is very long, so tell us everything exactly why you wrote this book and what the book title is.
Okay, the book title is Being Bigger, Badder, Bolder, and Better.
Say that one more time.
Being like the being, you want to be bigger, badder, bolder, and better.
Better, bigger, badder, bolder, better. All right, cool. Got it.
Say that fast.
Yeah.
And primarily, I've been writing this book since 2012, to be honest with you. And in on the first page, it says, okay, it's 2012. I sat down to write this book. Okay, it's 2013. I've sat down to try to write this book. Okay, it's 2014. I'm back at this book, and it goes all the way down to 2024 when I say I'm finally writing this book and it's done. So it's primarily, it's kind of a work / autobiography-ish, but told through one of the people in my head. It's kind of like telling my story. I've had so many names I could be schizophrenic with many people in my head. That's a whole other story. But it's really just sharing my journey. And it's broken up into acts. So it's act 1, 2, and 3. And there's like a finale and an encore. Yeah, that's right. Bigger, badder, bolder, and better. That's right. And in act 1, it kind of shares my story on how the blueprint was set. We all have blueprints, and how that blueprint was set. And then there's some workbook, sections where you can kind of start chronologically writing out your blueprint and things that you remember happening. Not going deep. We don't want nobody depressed and jumping off a building, from there. None of that stuff. It's just really seeing the correlation. Oh yeah, I remember when I started thinking that I was fat. This is when that happened. Or when somebody told me that I was ugly, and this is when that happened. So we start to see when those patterns were formed. And that's act 1. Act 2 is when those patterns turn to manifestations. Because eventually, the longer you sit there and you think you're heavy, or you think you're not pretty, or you think you're dumb because somebody told you, that manifests in your life. So I show that when what happened in my act 1 manifested into act 2. And then act 3 is how we clean it all up. It's the things that we do to reprogram. And then you get to rewrite your script, the script that you want to live out now. Because what we're doing every day is a production. You're in a production. You're in a production, Dano. Your production is the podcast, but the people that you invite are people you're inviting in your production, in your play. We're living out a stage production, and we write out people on a daily basis. I don't want to talk to Mike today. I'm not calling him back. Actually, I don't even want him in my life. I'm ghosting him. He's been written out of your script. So you're
allowed to do that too, by the way, to the people watching.
That's right. And family members. Sometimes family members need to be written out, with love. Because they're the reason why you got the blueprint that you have in the first place. But with all that said, so the act 3 is basically cleaning all that stuff out. The finale is where you get to go out and be that person, and you got to live that on a regular basis. So it's really kind of redesigning your blueprint. I say 3 acts to redesigning your blueprint and rewriting your life script, so you can have the life that you want. And it's never too late. I don't care if you're 60. I don't care if you're 65 or 70. If you can walk and you can move and you have your mind, you can do whatever. It's not over. It's not over until they come and take you in a box. And then I'm going to still be kicking like, hey, I'm not done.
Yeah, you said, this is not how I designed my casting. I'm manifesting a different casting.
Somebody made a mistake. But
and, thank you so much for, doing everything that you do and writing your books and just being that beacon of light that everybody needs to see. Because ultimately, through everything that you do, the Positivity Posse can see you can do this as well. And when it comes to designing our blueprints, I know Big Sean comes up. He has a song, and I really like his music. There's a lyric that he uses. He says, "I made my blueprints, so my life got no ceilings." and which is amazing because, symbolically or metaphorically, you can just think that there's no limitations, there's nothing that you can box yourself in. So if somebody's for the people that are watching right now, what advice do you have to give about designing your own blueprint for your life?
I would just say, people say if you were to, one of the sayings, if you found that you only had another day to live, how would you live your life? I don't like to go to the negative side. I like to go to the positive. If somebody told you, if you live out your life to the fullest and I have $20 million waiting for you when you're done, would you do it? Most
Mm.
people say, yeah, heck yeah. Hey, we don't know that we don't have $20 million waiting for it. Go for it. Go for it. Everything you want to do, just do it. Do one thing. Pick one thing and say, I've always wanted to play guitar in a cafe. That's just like I always just, but they told me I had to go to law school. They told me I had to do this. Just do the one thing. And it starts to rejuvenate you and it starts to shape you differently. And it starts to, get your palate all wet. And then you're going to find that, well, shoot, I'm not done. And I'm not done. And no, you can't be in my life because you bring negativity. You start cleaning out everything because it becomes important to you to stay on that vibrational level. So if you're not doing what you love, then out of fear, then pick one thing that doesn't scare you so much and go for that. Just one small thing. And then the hows will set in. I promise you, the how helps on the way will set in.
And you know what, too? A lot of the time, the thing that we are fearing, the magic is in that thing that we're fearing to do. Because you might learn so much more about yourself that could be a benefit. Like you said earlier, you might develop a great relationship that you didn't even know was possible. It can be your significant other, a business partner, a great spiritual mentor, or a financial coach, anything in between. So I can bet my bottom dollar that whatever it is that you're fearing, you just need to jump into it full speed ahead, and don't worry about, like you said, how it's going to happen. And even more importantly, before you take that step, or even while you're going through that step, you have to figure out what belief system or what do you believe about that thing that you fear. What irrational fears are you developing? Because Terrah, you know this too. That thing that you're fearing is probably not going to happen anyway. We're just making it up in our heads and we're talking ourselves out of that thing. So it's really incredible. So whatever that is for you, that is for you to figure out, and you need to do that after this episode is finished. So Terrah, what are some things that we can look for in the future that you have brewing, or that we can keep an eye out for?
Well, right now I have the book that'll be coming out hopefully by sometime this summer, fall. Being bigger, better, bolder, better. Make sure you follow me on those little icony things down there. What else I have? Inyani's got some great things. We got some festivals coming up in September, music festivals, and a feature film that we're working on that I'm really excited about. That will be loosely based on Nana Hashard's life. So we have a slew of wonderful projects coming out, and that has been probably, I would say, look out for things that Inyani's doing right now. I may be in a play too, a musical. I'm waiting to find out when I get to play Billie Holiday. So I'm excited about that. That's supposed to be in July. And in the meantime, we're just growing this company, man. Inyani, y'all better watch out. If you don't know, you better ask somebody, as they say. Yep, because we're doing some great things. So I'm very excited to be here. And thank you so much, Dano. And I'm so proud of all that you're bringing to people out here, and I wish this continued growth and much success and, all of the above. So the next time I come back, you'll be like, Terrah, man, I don't even have time. I got so many people on my list. And, I'm in the stratospheres of millions and millions of viewers. So, I'll fit you in when I can, Terrah.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, thank you so much for your kind words. And yes, you are correct. That is what's going to happen. We're just going to have more continued success, more, viewers and everything that comes along with that. But, I always got time for you. So, man, it's just so wonderful to connect with you. I know you're on the other side of the country right now, and we're at different, points in our lives and ages. But when we come together, we're fulfilling the promise that when two or more come together, great things will happen. So if where can we go to figure out more about Inyani or the projects? Do you have like any social media handles or places that we can go to follow?
Yeah, we have a website, Inyani.co, Inyani.co, INYANI.co. And me is Terrah Bennett Smith. Is spelled on my name. I think on Instagram, I'm the Terrah Bennett Smith. And then everything else, I'm Terrah Bennett Smith. And on Inyani, just go to the website and it'll tell you where everything else. Inyani.co, INYANI.co. But make sure you look out. We got some great things. And I think we're going to be coming out to DC. So when we do with a festival, Dano, we're going to have to come by and say hello because, that's like right around the corner.
Oh yeah, let's do it. I actually been to DC a few times. We have I have a great friend of mine, David Vardaman. He's been on the show a few times. He's taken me around the city, so I'm very familiar with DC. So we're gonna make that happen. I got you on video saying it. So he said I never said that. I say Terrah on
Yeah.
51 minutes.
Yeah.
We got the timestamp right here. But
you said you're in Philly, right? Philly.
Yeah, Philly.
Yeah, my friend has a tour bus out there. Have you heard of? It's like a Philly. Then he takes them all around to all the iconic places he used to be on the Cosby Show, and he's also in Hairspray, and he has this really dope tour bus, and people get on, and he takes you all because there's so many wonderful historical people and artists that came out of Philly.
Yeah,
you should check that out.
Yeah, well, let me know. Don't go anywhere after because I just want to talk to you about a few things after the show. But Terrah, we always wrap up the show with the same exact question. And with the Power of Choices that I'm the co-founder of, we teach kids about mental resilience, anti-bullying, substance prevention, and things like that. So here it is, Terrah. If there's somebody out there that it may have been caused by bullying or maybe a bad support system, but it's not really a bad support system, right? Because they're showing you anything that you need to know about yourself. But if somebody's in that deep, dark place, what advice would you have to give for them in order to get themselves out of that spot?
I would say if you can find a mentor, somebody who you can talk to, that would teach you the other side of things, because there's always the other side of a coin, and people can only give you from what they know. So a lot of the bullying comes from somebody being bullied, or a lot of the lack of love, from your parents, or lack of something comes from somebody who was not loved. So if you can find a teacher, a friend, a minister, someone who is on the other side, reach out, say, I need a mentor. I need someone to have conversations with. It will change your life. And when you can't do that, YouTube, man, videos, internet, there's so much empowerment stuff on there. Saturate yourself with headphones, find empowerment and encouraging speakers. Keep those on your ears 24/7 when you're not in school. It will start to deprogram and reprogram you. You have to take yourself under control. Now, obviously, when you're a baby and young, you can. But when you start understanding what's happening, you can take control of your life at that point. Take control of yourself, and things will flip around. That's what I would say.
Boom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And now to the Positivity Posse, to anybody who's watching right now. Now that you know this, you can't go back and do the same stuff that you're doing, unfortunately. But that's great. I mean, it's very fortunate because now you are developing and you are ready to take that next step to being who you truly came to this earth to be. And you will see the just beautiful transformation that will start to happen. So, Terrah, thank you so much for those kind words. We really appreciate that advice and all of this stuff that you have done before, now, and in the future. We wish you many blessings, and we know it's going to be great stuff. And whatever you need here from us on Weekly Dose of Dano TV, we got your back. And we might have to do a part 2 because we didn't even talk about the Broadway thing that you got and your career and so many other things that we need to talk about. So thank you so much.
We talked about what was right for today. This was what needed to be heard today.
Oh yeah. And when we do that part 2, it's gonna be what they need to hear then too. So keep an eye out, everybody, for part 2 possibly. And thank you to the Positivity Posse. We appreciate you. Stay safe this weekend. And Terrah, any final words that you want to share with everybody before we log off?
Just my quote: "You woke up this morning. Everything else is profit." That's it.
Boom. There it is. So everybody, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Peace.